three brothers begin another morning where patience may prove more valuable than speed. The ostrich survives through constant awareness and unmatched endurance across open country. Every brother watches the others, preparing without wasting a single motion. One suspicious glance can determine whether the chase ever begins. Cooperation gives these brothers possibilities that a lone hunter rarely enjoys. The silent preparation ends as survival becomes a race against impossible speed. Every stride burns precious energy that neither hunter nor prey can waste. Precision matters more than reckless speed when confronting such dangerous prey. Experience teaches these brothers when caution is wiser than relentless pursuit. Endurance begins to shape the outcome more than raw acceleration. Life continues around the struggle, untouched by another contest for survival. The giant bird now relies on the landscape as another powerful defense. Every decision must balance hunger against the risk of serious injury. Nature itself becomes another force, influencing every choice. One final burst of determination may decide the fate of them all. Endurance often outlasts explosive speed in Africa's endless landscapes. The savannah never pauses, even after moments of extraordinary tension. Sometimes, survival belongs to the one who simply refuses to surrender. Another day ends with survival, earned through resilience rather than dominance. Peace always returns, even after the fiercest contest upon the plains. The story of survival never ends with sunset across Africa. In Africa, every sunrise begins another remarkable chapter in the endless story of life. Dawn reveals another opportunity hidden within the endless African plains. Every drink demands caution where predators may already be watching. Their greatest weapon remains silent coordination before the chase even begins. Countless lives continue peacefully, while unseen tension quietly builds nearby. Instinct often recognizes danger long before the eyes confirm it. Speed alone cannot decide the outcome when determination drives every stride. Teamwork narrows every possible escape across the rugged landscape. Dawn does not announce itself gently here. It arrives as a verdict, and every creature must answer it. Across this ocean of grass, morning light reveals a world that never truly slept. Even the smallest architect of the plain builds against impossible odds. Alertness is the first currency of survival, spent before the sun has fully risen. These towers of clay outlast the creatures that shelter within them. The sky itself seems to be gathering its breath before the heat of the day. Patience walks on stilted legs across this open, unforgiving stage. Even dry ground remembers water, and life gathers where the memory runs deepest. Family, even among warthogs, is armor against a dangerous world. In a single drop of dew, an entire fragile world hangs suspended. Height offers safety, but never immunity on this ancient plain. Some hunters prefer the shadow to the spotlight and thrive because of it. Water is the plain's rarest treasure, and every creature knows its price. Light does not simply fall here, it performs, illuminating a stage set for survival. Even the wind seems restless, as if it senses what the day will bring. A single eye, moving independently, watches two worlds at once. The horizon holds its breath, waiting to see what the day will demand. Some hunters need no stealth at all, only strength and patience.
Beauty and danger share the same field, often without a border between them.
Solitary hunters trust the wind more than their own eyes. High above, the plain's undertakers already sense that today will not be quiet. Even the smallest laborers carry burdens greater than themselves. Ritual and rhythm persist here, indifferent to the dangers gathering nearby. Numbers offer comfort on a plain where comfort is always temporary. Three brothers watch the world stir, already reading its story before it unfolds. Brotherhood for cheetahs is rare, and rarer still, it is essential. Even the fastest hearts on the plain must sometimes simply rest. Together they move as one shadow, faster and safer than any of them alone. Those tear lines are not sorrow. They are precision, cutting glare from the hunt. Play is practice here, rehearsal for violence they hope never fully arrives. A mark left behind speaks louder than any roar. Alone, a cheetah is vulnerable. Together, three brothers become formidable. Even predators must breathe slowly before the world demands speed of them. One watches while two rest. Trust like this cannot be taught, only lived. Every yawn hides a weapon built by millions of years of refinement. Tenderness exists even among the plain's fastest killers. Camouflage here is not deception, but survival stitched into fur. Those claws grip like cleats, built for speed rather than climbing or fighting. Even water tastes different to those who know how rare it truly is. Rest is not weakness. It is the fuel for the 90 seconds that decide everything. Even brutal hunters remember, briefly, what it felt like to simply play. Three sets of eyes see more than one ever could alone. Strength here is quiet, coiled just beneath golden, spotted skin. Vigilance is a duty they take turns carrying, never resting all at once. The wind carries messages no eye could ever read. Rising together, they announce without a sound that the hunt may soon begin. Silence is their signature. The plane barely notices they have passed. Even small wounds are tended patiently, for a hunt cannot afford weakness. From this height, three brothers already choose their story for the day. Breath by breath, they gather the calm that speed alone cannot provide.
9 feet of height and one enormous eye make this bird the plane's most reliable alarm.
Its brain may be small, but its instincts have kept it alive for 60 million years. Those legs carry more danger than any beak or claw on the savannah. Grace, in this creature, is simply efficiency, wearing feathers. The plane trusts this sentinel more than it trusts silence itself. Smaller lives borrow safety from a giant that never seems to blink. That single pause could mean the difference between a quiet afternoon and chaos. One well-placed kick from this bird can break bone instantly. From this height, danger reveals itself long before it ever arrives. Even the zebra herd leans quietly on this unlikely guardian. Every feather here serves function long before it serves beauty.
A single alarm from this bird can scatter an entire herd in seconds.
Even under a trembling heat haze, this watchtower refuses to waver. That call travels farther across grass than any predator's silent approach. Even giants among grazers pay quiet respect to this towering neighbor. Each feather is a small miracle of alignment, built for a life outdoors. A single distant sound can turn stillness into readiness within a heartbeat. Even feeding, this creature never fully lowers its guard. Dust settles differently on a body that rarely stops watching. Even as the sun begins to fall, vigilance here does not. The wind tells this bird stories long before any eye would see them. Safety, on this plane, often means simply standing near the tallest watcher. Those thighs store the power for a sprint that few predators can match. A single slow turn reveals what hours of stillness were built to protect. Something in the grass has just changed, and this eye is the first to know it. Every stalk begins the same way, with patience disguised as stillness. A single sound now could undo minutes of silent, careful progress. 3 brothers, 3 angles, one shared and singular intention. Focus like this cannot be taught. It can only be inherited. The wind decides more hunts than muscle or speed ever will. Instinct rarely explains itself. It simply demands attention. Discipline, more than speed, is what carries a cheetah this close. The land itself becomes an ally, hiding what eyes alone cannot. Distance is an illusion here. closing faster than instinct can register. Stillness, at this moment, is more valuable than speed itself. Terrain hides what stealth alone could never fully conceal. Even a giant's eye can miss what refuses to move. Every breath held now is a bet against detection. A single startled wingbeat can undo a perfect approach. Instinct answers danger before the mind has time to understand it. Sometimes the closest calls happen in complete and total silence. The body prepares for speed long before the mind gives permission. The space between hunter and hunted has nearly disappeared. Ancient reflexes stir, sensing a threat the eyes have not yet confirmed. Geometry decides this hunt as much as speed ever will. Even exertion, here, must remain nearly invisible. For one suspended moment, recognition hangs in the balance. Camouflage now is the only weapon that matters. The wind has just betrayed what silence worked so hard to hide. The plane itself seems to lean forward, waiting for what happens next. Even the fastest hunters must rest beside water that hides its own dangers. Stillness here can mean patience, or it can mean an ambush waiting. Precision like this is earned through 1,000 failed attempts. The river keeps its oldest predator hidden until the final instant. Even small hunters here move with quiet, practiced certainty. Giants of the grassland become cautious visitors within the water's reach. Patience on this riverbank is simply another form of hunting. Comfort and danger often share the very same stretch of water. The wetland offers a mirror to a sky that never stops changing. Even scent is read here, carried on air thick with moisture. Grace in flight often follows a life spent in stillness below. Small voices fill the evening long before the larger ones return. Even a river's gentlest bend hides a world of quiet motion. An eye breaking the surface is often the only warning given. Water offers relief, but never entirely relieves the vigilance required to survive. Balance here belongs to legs built for water rather than speed. Even the wetland dims slowly, reluctant to surrender its long day.
Beauty rests undisturbed, only because nothing yet has reason to disturb it.
Play persists, even among creatures built for a harder world. A single display can end a conflict before it ever truly begins. Caution lingers at the water's edge, long after thirst is satisfied. Even the sky's smallest gift changes the mood of an entire river. This water has carried this story long before any of these lives began. A brief leap toward the light is often a fish's only rebellion. Even hunters must drink, and even drinking demands their constant, practiced vigilance. Numbers this vast turn survival into a kind of desperate, collective mathematics. Every stride here is both flight and faith in the herd around it. Rivers do not pause for migration, and migration cannot pause for rivers. Even chaos has a shape when a mother refuses to be separated. Patterns blur together when survival depends on simply not standing out. Ancient predators timed their patience to this very moment of chaos. The earth itself seems to answer when this many lives move together. Exhaustion here is simply the price paid for another day of life. Even shallow water becomes a trial when thousands must cross together. Fear and momentum move as one force across this desperate river. Patience above costs nothing, while chaos plays out below. A stumble here can cost everything in half a second. Relief arrives only once the far bank is finally, fully reached. A single voice rarely survives the roar of the collective crossing. Smaller groups borrow courage from the larger body moving around them. The ground remembers every migration that has ever crossed it. Abundance, however brief, offers a different kind of danger to consider. Even relief looks like celebration after a crossing this violent. Opportunity, for hunters, often arrives disguised as overwhelming abundance. Reunion, however brief, is the only reward this crossing offers. Even triumph casts a long and uncertain shadow at day's end. The body remembers exertion long after the danger itself has passed. Calm returns slowly and always incompletely after a crossing like this. Even dust eventually settles, no matter how violent its rising. Three brothers see in this herd not chaos, but choice. Balance like this belongs only to a life spent entirely on the edge. Even stone remembers the countless feet that have trusted it completely. Cooperation here is simply another name for shared survival. Nothing here is wasted, not even the smallest insect beneath a stone. Effortless flight often conceals the most patient of predators. Stillness in the sun can be its own quiet form of survival. Even mountains seem to brace themselves before an approaching storm. A single shadow can end stillness in less than a heartbeat. Confidence here comes from a body built entirely for this terrain. Some predators need no speed at all, only patience and pattern. Alarm spreads faster through this troop than any single voice could carry. Even loose stone yields to a body built for perfect balance. Color here answers only to the mountain's changing, relentless light. A single dive can end in an instant what patience built for hours. Even dry riverbeds carry memory of water that once carved this land. Camouflage on rock is simply patience given the perfect pattern. Height offers this hunter a view no other predator on the plain can claim. Retreat here is not fear, it is simply practiced, necessary wisdom. Even distant storms cast a shadow long before the first drop falls. Balance and instinct decide survival, where speed alone would surely fail. Even mountains eventually surrender to the gentler rhythm of the plain below. A predator's eyes miss little, even from this quiet, elevated distance. Light lingers longest, where the land itself reaches highest. Even the driest stone eventually answers to the coming rain. Some hunters belong to the mountain, others to the grass, and today belongs to the grass. Second chances on this plain are rarely given, only carefully taken. Discipline returns instantly, as if the earlier failure never happened at all. Even fading light can hide a predator's most patient intentions. Geometry, once again, becomes this hunt's most important weapon. Awareness, for a watchtower, never fully rests, not even at dusk. The wind is loyal to no one, and today it may betray the hunters. A single lifted head can undo minutes of perfect, silent progress. Uncertainty is often the first sign that danger has been sensed. Stillness, this close, is the only weapon that still remains. Every silent step now carries the full weight of the hunt's outcome. Distance, once vast, has narrowed to almost nothing at all. Instinct rarely waits for full certainty before it begins to prepare. Scent, this close, becomes as dangerous as sight itself. Recognition, once it comes, arrives all at once and without warning. The whole plain seems to lean into this single, decisive moment. Restraint, until this instant, has been the hardest part of the hunt. Suspicion moves faster through instinct than through conscious thought. In this frozen instant, both hunter and hunted understand exactly what comes next. Flight, for this bird, is its oldest and most reliable defense. Speed arrives all at once, a promise finally being kept. Three angles collapse into one single, urgent, converging line.
explosive power, held so long in reserve, is finally spent completely.
Even legendary speed may not be enough against a target already running. The chase is no longer a possibility, it is now the only reality. This is what 90 seconds of pure, uncompromising speed looks like. Survival, right now, depends entirely on a single sharp turn. Every stride here is a gamble against exhaustion and time. Teamwork transforms 3 fast bodies into one relentless, coordinated force. Even a giant stride cannot always outrun 3 coordinated pursuers. Balance decides this chase as much as raw speed ever could. The plane itself seems to blur beneath this desperate contest. Fear here is not weakness, it is simply honest, urgent instinct. This stride is the fastest 4 legs on land have ever produced. Even a perfect plan must adapt in an instant to survive. The body spends everything it has in these final, desperate seconds. So close, and yet distance like this can still mean everything. Danger now moves in every direction at once. Even prey can turn defense into a genuine, dangerous weapon. Cooperation in this final moment becomes the difference between hunger and survival. Speed like this cannot be sustained, and both hunter and hunted know it. Exhaustion arrives for every runner, no matter how fast they began. Focus this total leaves no room for anything but the chase itself. The blind side is often where a hunt is truly decided. A single misstep can change everything in the span of one stride. 3 lives converge now on a single, unrepeatable moment. Time itself seems to slow at the very edge of outcome. Nature rarely reveals its answer clearly in the very instant it happens. The plane does not mourn or celebrate, it simply continues, as it always has. Failure here is not tragedy, it is simply tomorrow's necessary lesson. Even legendary bodies must eventually surrender to their own limits. Survival, for prey, often looks exactly like simply walking away. Exhaustion after a hunt is its own honest form of truth. Even brothers need each other most in the quiet after failure. The plane remembers every chase, even the ones that end without success. Elsewhere on this plane, another story reaches its own separate ending. Rest, after effort like this, is its own form of quiet victory. Endings here are rarely dramatic, only ever patient and quietly certain.
Other hunts are only just beginning as this one finally closes.
Night changes the rules of this plane completely. for everyone. Even exhaustion cannot fully silence a predator's deepest instincts. Vigilance never fully sleeps, not even in apparent rest. Small lights now replace the sun's long, fading reach. Warmth tonight matters more than the outcome of any single hunt. Somewhere out there, another predator's day is only just beginning. Even in darkness, this ancient plain remains fully, quietly alive. Instinct never truly rests, not even beneath a rising moon. Small lives continue their own quiet rhythms, indifferent to the larger dramas nearby. Morning's dew begins forming even before tonight has fully settled. Tonight, at least, survival has been earned by every creature involved. Even vigilance must eventually yield to the deep pull of exhaustion. The plain grows smaller behind them and larger within their memory. Beneath this same sky, every story on this plain quietly continues. Tomorrow, the hunt begins again, as it always has and always will.